you're obviously renowned now as one of the world's leaders in S&C, and I imagine a lot of people are coming to you. Did you ever go through sort of imposter syndrome as you were coming up through the world of strength and conditioning?
It's to be honest, I think I probably did, but I didn't recognize what it was in the moment. Probably earlier in my career. I think a lot of that stuff happens when you pay too much attention to the noise out there, and eventually it can kind of become subconscious that you're acquiring it, and you're taking it in. Um, you know, I want to say it was probably around 2006, 2007. I just kind of made a conscious decision to stay off internet forums. I had no interest in arguing with people on social media or anything like that. I realized that, if I wanted to do what I wanted to do in this world, there was no time to argue on the internet. In various capacities, there's no time to argue. Period. I just, especially nowadays, like there's some good stuff. Trevor Moawad was just on my podcast, and he talked about it. And listened to a great book that just talks about how, like social media doesn't change people's mind. People go there for confirmation bias. So if you just sit there and yell all day, all you do is waste time. And it's even more prevalent for me now that I have kids. Like I have no desire to argue on the internet, but in pushing that out, I pushed out a lot of the negativity I think that could have driven some of the imposter syndrome. But more importantly, it freed up a lot of time for me to study, to learn, to shadow really good coaches and therapists, experiment with our athletes, to build relationships with a lot of the athletes that I think were really impactful in growing our businesses over the course of time. And it also gave me an opportunity to be a producer and not just a consumer early in my career. And, I've been writing in some capacity every single day for, over 17 years now. It was just something that I did. And you realize that there's a huge body of work there, and, kind of, developed this accidental career doing it, just because I did it so much. So, you know, if there's anybody out there listening, I think that's the first place you start. You just try to build relationships, and you're not going to do that arguing on the internet. For me, my online presence is very much about helping people. I want to put good information out there. I want to introduce products that I think can be impactful for, helping end users or educating fitness professionals. I want to have conversations like these where I feel like, some of this information might register with a 22-year-old coach out there that was, maybe struggling with some of the same stuff that I was struggling with when I was just getting to grad school.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the world of health and sports performance and fitness is just full of people that just want to be right all the time. They just want to constantly be showing what they know, and again that
Yeah.
can manifest itself in overcomplicating it, over communicating stuff. I'm
Yeah.
always a big
The,
believer
the
in.
other thing,
Go on.
I don't mean to cut you off. One of the things I was going to say is you mentioned imposter syndrome. It's, that that speaks to, like people feeling inadequate, right? Because they compare themselves to what they think the norm is. I think one of the best ways around that is to actually go out and understand what the norm really is. And we, to be honest, realized in 2008, 2009, 2010, we were first getting going, like there was really nothing good out there for these players to turn to. Like it was very, very limited in terms of resource in the baseball community. Like we kind of created the industry of baseball specific strength and conditioning. So when you're to some degree like this first mover advantage, you're like first to market, like it immediately throws out this concept of imposter syndrome. But what I would tell you is if you're people that are listening to this, like the number one thing that they can do to help their cause, go understand the status quo, go out and see what's out there, observe other gyms, travel and check out facilities that you admire, and try to learn from them. But you also might in the process just realize that they're not everything that they're cut out to be. And for us that was kind of the case early on, and we realized that we could compete with the big dogs. It was extra fulfilling in that regard.